Hey, what's going on guys? This is Ken. Today I'll be doing my comparison video between Windows Phone 8 and iOS 7. Unfortunately, I do not have iOS 7 currently installed on my device because I didn't want to lose my jailbreak. So the following iOS 7 clips are provided by Dom, youtube.com/macmixing. So check out his channel, he does a lot of iOS related videos. In this comparison video, I'll be comparing the softwares of these two operating systems. So I'll be talking about the design, the user interface, applications, and a lot more. So let's go ahead and get started. First, let's start off by comparing the design, the user interface of these two operating systems. So on iOS, you can see these flat, simplistic, elegant looking app icons on the home page. Of course, you can hold on to these icons and move them around to organize your applications. If you have a lot of apps, you can put them in folders. And in my opinion, the folders on iOS 7 look really nice. You can put in a lot of apps and scroll through the folders to see your applications. So it's a great way to organize your apps. On the other hand, Windows Phone 8 has a tile layout, as you can see, so you can swipe up or down to see all your application tiles. You can swipe to the left to reveal all your installed applications on your device. You can change the size of the tiles, change them smaller, bigger, so you can move them around on your home page and customize the way you want. Of course, on Windows Phone 8, you can't make folders or anything, but I think the tiles are also a great way to organize your applications, because if you have a lot of apps, you can just pin your most important apps or your most used applications on your homepage as tiles, and you can easily access them on your homepage. The lock screen on iOS 7 has been updated. It's much more simplistic, just the background moving wallpaper, the text for the clock, the slide to unlock text, and also the camera grabber. So we can see that Apple is trying to make iOS 7 a lot more minimalistic. On the lock screen, you can also slide down to access your notification center. You can see all your notifications for your social networks, applications, calendars, and you can add more in settings. So the lock screen for Windows Phone 8 also looks quite simplistic. Just the background wallpaper, the clock, date, and also a few notification symbols that shows I have mail and also some tweets. The weather widget on top is actually from an application called Weatherflow. So that was the lock screen for Windows Phone 8. Now let's take a look at the iOS 7 notification center. You can see all your notifications for all your social networks if you set them up in settings. The background is also blurred out, which is quite nice. And overall, it's a really convenient way to check your notifications. On the other side, Windows Phone 8 does not have a notification center. The way to check if you have any notifications is by looking at the live tiles. So on the tiles, you can see that I have 58 messages, one unread Twitter direct message, and when I scroll down, you can see the live weather widget, which is on a tile. Here's a look at the multitasking app switcher on iOS 7. It is in a card layout, so you can swipe left or right to see your background running applications. This is true multitasking, which means that when you tap on it, it will resume back to your previous activity on this application. So here's a look at the Windows Phone 8 app switcher. As you can see that iOS 7's app switcher look really similar to this one, and many are saying that iOS 7 copied this feature from Windows Phone, but keep in mind that WebOS was actually the first one to introduce card layout app switching. Let's take a quick second comparing some of the application layouts. So first, let's begin with the Messages application. Here you can see it doesn't have a lot of layers and it's quite flat. They also changed the layout of the keyboard on iOS 7. And here's a look at the Messages application on Windows Phone 8. So as you can see, again, it's quite similar. And here's the keyboard for Windows Phone 8. Of course, I can change the color of the background and also the keyboard. Here's a look at the Calculator application on iOS 7. And here's the calculator for Windows Phone 8. So as you can see, it's fairly similar with the flat design and the tile layout for the keys. So here I changed the color of the background. And as you can see, now it's even more similar to the iOS one. Here's a look at the iOS 7 background wallpaper. It is an animated wallpaper on the lock screen. Now this isn't anything new in the OS world. We've seen that in Android many years ago. But the parallax wallpaper on iOS 7 is pretty cool. When you move your device around, your wallpaper also moves around. On Windows Phone 8, it doesn't allow you to change your background wallpaper on your home page. Maybe it's because if you change your wallpaper, it's not going to look that good. But you can still change the background wallpaper for your lock screen as you saw previously in this video. Some customizations that you can do to the homepage are that you can change the background to a light color or a dark color, so basically black or white. You can change the accent or the tile color. So let me just change it to cyan and go back to the homepage. And now as you can see, all my stock tiles are in this color. The whole OS changes the color. So here is the messages application. The control center on iOS 7 is probably my favorite feature on iOS 7. You can use your toggles to change your system settings. You can also turn on flashlight and access a few other shortcut applications. You also have the music control and also changing the brightness. On Windows Phone 8, it doesn't allow you to do anything like that, so you will have to go to settings and change all of that in settings, which is a bummer because it's not really convenient. But I did find out a way to have toggles on your device by simply downloading an application called Toggles. This allows you to put 4 or more toggles on your homepage, and when you tap on it, it will bring you to the settings application shortcut and you can just turn it off. Now this is a little bit more convenient because you don't actually have to go to settings, scroll all the way down or up to find whatever you want to change. So this is one of the things that I do not like about Windows Phone 8 is that you can't really access quick settings or anything. iOS 7 also updated Safari, which is the default browser on iOS. You get a few more features, for example, full screen browsing, smart search field, you can have favorites, new tab view, which is quite similar to the Google Chrome tab view, parental controls, iCloud keychain, and a few more. On Windows Phone 8, you also get some of these features, for example, full screen browsing. You can add certain websites to your favorites. So here are the tabs. It's not the same as iOS or Google Chrome. You can also pin the website to the start page as a live tile, and you can easily access them on your home page. You have so many options to share your web page. I'll talk more about sharing later in this video. So this is Internet Explorer, and I know that people hate Internet Explorer on desktops, but I have to say that it works really well on mobile devices. It's really smooth, no lag, and it's fairly fast. iOS 7 also changed up their camera software, so if you slide to the left, you will access your video mode. So this is a much faster way to access your other modes. If you swipe to the right, you can access a new feature. This is called Square Mode. Basically, it takes 1:1 pictures, and you can add different filters similar to Instagram. And the last iOS 7 camera mode is the panoramic. Speaking of taking panoramic photos, you can also do that on Windows Phone 8. But I have to say that taking panoramic pictures on Windows Phone 8 isn't really easy to use. Some features on Windows Phone 8 include cinemagraphs. This feature animates the moving portion of the image. So my finger was moving in that picture, and it basically creates like a GIF or GIF. It also has a feature called Smart Shoot. Basically, it takes like 5 pictures and you can choose the best picture between these 5. I think some of these features are only for Nokia devices. I'm not sure if it's universal for all Windows Phone devices. Another great feature of Windows Phone 8 is that you can change the video settings and the photo settings. In video settings, you can change the white balance, continuous focus, the video quality, 1080p or 720p. You can also change a bunch of photo settings. For example, your ISO, your exposure, your white balance, and a few more. Now let's talk about the application selection for both operating systems. As we all know, iOS is known for its wide selection of apps. It has over 800,000 applications to choose from. And the new feature on iOS 7 is that it automatically updates all your apps. On the other side, Windows Phone 8 doesn't have that many selections of applications. It only has 145,000 applications to choose from, but you still get all of the necessary applications such as Facebook, Twitter, Skype, SkyDrive, Google. So the clear winner for this one is obviously iOS 7. It has so many quality applications to choose from compared to Windows Phone 8. And the last feature I'll be comparing today is AirDrop. This is a pretty unique feature for iOS 7 because you can share files or photos with people around you using Wi-Fi.
No need to wander around the room bumping your phone with others.
With Windows Phone 8, you have a lot of options to share your documents, photos, or files. Of course, you can use social network, but I'm going to show you a few features that's quite similar to AirDrop. First, this is pretty obvious, is the Bluetooth. Now, most devices nowadays can transfer files using Bluetooth, including most Android devices and of course Windows Phone devices. With your other Windows Phone device, you can just tap here and tap Share, Bluetooth, and then wait for the other device to respond. And of course you have to enable Bluetooth for both devices, and they have to be paired up, and now the file is being shared to the other phone. So receive content, and there it is. Another way to share photos is by using an application called PhotoBeam. Again, I'm not sure if this is only for Nokia devices. Basically, you have to go to photobeam.com on the other device, and then you can take a picture of that code, and there it is. My picture has just been shared to my other phone. And the last feature I'm going to show you is, of course, NFC. It's called Tap plus Send. This is the feature that Apple made fun of. So you basically tap or bump two phones together, and then it will transfer the data, either if it's a document, a photo, or other files. So I just transferred my Word document to my other phone. So this basically sums up my comparison between iOS 7 and Windows Phone 8. If you enjoyed the video or found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for future videos similar to this one. Thanks a lot for watching this video once again. I'll see you guys in my next video.